Too many people spend money they haven't earned to buy things they don't want, to impress people they don't like. Will Rogers. And somehow that quote gets older while the problem keeps getting younger. Because today, looking rich has never been easier. A nice car, a clean outfit, a designer watch, a luxury apartment, a dinner spot with moody lighting, a laptop on a marble table, a day in the life that looks like success. And that is exactly the problem. Because looking rich and being rich are not just different things, they are often opposites. That is what people miss. Real wealth is usually quiet. Looking rich is loud, and loud is expensive. That's the trap. Most people do not go broke chasing survival. They go broke chasing the image of success because the image feels close enough to touch. You can lease the car, finance the watch, split the payments, upgrade the apartment, book the trip, put the dinner on the card, post the photo. And for one moment, you feel like you made it. That is how the scam works. It sells you the feeling of wealth without the structure of wealth. And the feeling is always cheaper up front, but way more expensive in the long run. This is not a new problem. This is one of the oldest money traps in history. In the 1920s, installment credit exploded. People could suddenly buy furniture, radios, and household goods before they had fully paid for them. For the first time, regular people could look more financially established than they really were. Then after World War II, consumer culture went into overdrive. The house, the lawn, the car, the TV, the washing machine, the perfect family setup, and attached to every piece of that dream, a monthly payment. By the 1980s, credit cards made the whole thing easier. By the 2000s, people were borrowing against rising home values and confusing inflation in asset prices with real financial strength. Then 2008 arrived and ripped the mask off. A lot of people learned the hard way that looking rich and being rich are two completely different games. The people with margin survive better. The people with high income, high payments, and no breathing room got smoked. And here's the crazy part. The trap is even stronger now. Because in the past, you mostly compared yourself to your street. Now you compare yourself to the internet. You don't just see one successful person, you see thousands every day. And the algorithm does not reward quiet stability. It rewards visible lifestyle. Nobody goes viral for, I drove my paid-off car, invested in index funds, and said no to bottle service. That does not hit. What hits is the fantasy. The watch, the car, the trip, the penthouse gym, the airport lounge, the work hard, play hard life. And your brain starts doing something dangerous. It starts treating visibility as proof. If it looks expensive, it must mean success, maybe. Or maybe it means a 72-month auto loan, a maxed out credit card, rent that's too high, and a guy one missed paycheck away from selling the watch he uses to look wealthy. You don't know. That's the dangerous part. Looking rich is easy to fake. Being rich is hard to fake. Because real wealth shows up in boring places. Cash reserves, low fixed costs, no toxic debt, consistent investing, flexibility, options. The ability to survive bad luck without swiping a card and praying, that is wealth. Not ambient lighting in a car. Not a luxury logo on your wrist. Not the fact that your apartment looks like an Airbnb for people with commitment issues. Let's make this simple. Looking rich is mostly about spending. Being rich is about keeping. That's the whole thing. A flashy spender and a quiet builder can earn the exact same income and end up in completely different universes. Imagine two people. Both make $90,000 a year. Person one drives the nicer car, lives in the trendier building, wears the better clothes, eats out more, travels more, and looks more successful from the outside. Person two drives something simpler, keeps housing more reasonable, avoids stupid payments, invests steadily, and doesn't perform success every weekend. Who looks richer? Person 1. Who is more likely to actually become rich? Person 2, every time. Because wealth is not built by appearance. It is built by margin, the gap between what comes in and what goes out. And looking rich destroys that gap. That's why this trap is so brutal. It doesn't just cost money once. It increases your fixed costs. And fixed costs are the real killers. Anyone can survive a random splurge. What crushes people is recurring image maintenance. The car payment, the insurance, the nicer rent, the furniture, the subscriptions, the dinners, the weekends, the pressure to keep the look going. That's the part nobody talks about. Looking rich is not one purchase. It is a lifestyle subscription. And once your life is built around maintaining the image, you're no longer buying nice things. You are working for them. That's when the trap flips. At first, you think your money is buying status. Then one day, you realize the status is controlling your money. Now let's talk about the car, because the car is one of the biggest fake rich machines ever invented. A nice car makes people feel powerful. It also makes lenders feel powerful because they know something you're trying not to think about. A lot of people are willing to sacrifice years of cash flow for a few seconds of visual impact. A $700 payment sounds like a monthly number. It feels manageable. But stack that over a year. Add insurance, add gas, add repairs, add registration, and suddenly your identity is eating 5 figures a year. 5 figures. To move your body from one place to another while hoping strangers assume you're winning. That is a brutal trade, and it doesn't stop with cars. Housing does the same thing. People stretch for the nicer building, the cooler area, the extra room, the better furniture, the more polished look. Then they wonder why they feel trapped, even with a decent salary. Because a high income with high image maintenance costs is still a fragile life. This is why some high earners still feel poor. Not because they earn too little, because too much of their income is already spoken for, and money that is already spoken for cannot build freedom. It can only maintain appearances. Here's another hard truth. The market does not care if you look successful. Your retirement account does not grow faster because your sneakers cost $300. Your emergency fund does not magically appear because your bathroom has expensive lighting. Your landlord does not lower rent because your phone is the latest model. Your balance sheet is completely unimpressed by your vibe. That is why looking rich keeps people poor, because it diverts money away from the things that actually build financial power, cash buffer, debt reduction, investments, flexibility, time, options. Every dollar used to perform wealth is a dollar not being used to build it. Now, to be fair, this is not me saying never enjoy your life. Never buy nice things. Live like a monk. That's stupid. You are allowed to enjoy money. That is part of the point. The real issue is order. Most people buy the appearance first and try to build the foundation later. That's backwards. The smarter move is this. Build the base first. Then enjoy what fits on top. That means get your emergency fund right. Kill the ugly debt. Keep fixed costs under control. Invest consistently. Protect your margin. Then, if you want, buy nicer things from a position of strength, not from a position of insecurity. Because that's the ugly truth underneath a lot of fake rich behavior. It's insecurity with better branding. People do not always buy expensive things because they love them. Sometimes they buy them because they are scared of looking behind, scared of looking average, scared of being judged, scared of feeling like they're not moving up. So they upgrade the visible parts of life before the invisible parts are stable. And that is how people stay stuck for years. They get raises, but the image grows with the raise. They make more, but their freedom does not grow. And then they say, I don't get it. I'm earning more than ever, but I still don't feel ahead. Of course not. Because more income does not automatically create peace. Only better structure creates peace. That's the part social media never shows you. Nobody posts, I kept my rent low, maxed my retirement contributions, and widened my margin. But that's the stuff that changes your life. Not instantly, but permanently. That is the difference. Looking rich gives you a temporary emotional hit. Being rich gives you long-term stability. Looking rich gets attention. Being rich gets options. Looking rich buys applause. Being rich buys time. And time is one of the few things money can actually give you that matters. Time to leave bad work. Time to survive a layoff. Time to handle emergencies. Time to invest without panic. Time to make decisions without desperation. That is real power. And most of it is invisible. So if you want one question to keep yourself honest, use this. Am I buying this because it improves my life or because it improves the way my life looks? That question alone will save people years. Because sometimes the answer will be, yes, I genuinely want this and I can afford it. Great. Other times the answer will be, no, this is financial cosplay. That's when you walk away. Not because nice things are evil, because confusion is expensive. And confusing image with assets is one of the fastest ways to stay broke while looking successful. So here's the final thought. You do not need to look rich. You need to become hard to break. That means lower fixed costs, higher margin, steadier investing, more cash, more room, less performance. Because in the long run, almost nobody gets wealthy by performing success. They get wealthy by quietly keeping more than they show. And that will beat almost every flashy flex on earth. Subscribe for more simple animated finance videos.